The lead up to the 2018 total shutdown movement actually started its beginnings with the Men Are Trash movement. There was a lot of discourse around the conversation of why is South Africa so violent? Why are we seeing a gender-based violence epidemic in South Africa? And when those questions were being asked, and obviously the violence is disproportionately on women and girls, and the perpetrators are disproportionately men and boys. Obviously, we weren't saying that all men need to be discarded, but it was saying take accountability for the silence of when you see acts of violence being perpetrated upon women and you do nothing. When you hear that fight happening at your neighbor's house become violence and you don't call the police. Take accountability for that as men of this country.
I woke up one time with him on top of me on the bed, choking me. He's like, I'm going to kill you now, and then I'm going to kill your daughter. And then when he found I was pregnant, he beat me so bad that all I wanted to do was protect her. I even asked him, can you hurt me in my face? Make me bleed in my face. Leave her alone. She didn't do this. And this is the sad part, is that not many knows about this story, is that me and mom, when I told her, I came to her, I said, Mommy, he's hurting me. I can't leave him yet. Okay, my child, let's go to the police station. Let's get a protection order against him. Police officers came to serve him, and I ran, because I know I can't do this. I love this man. And then I took it and I signed for it, and then I destroyed it. When we are having, say for instance, intercourse, I didn't want to because I couldn't, because when we did that, he beat me because I wasn't good enough. But I'm serving you, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm doing everything because you're my provider. And then I went to the police station because I'm like, hey, let's start, do something. And then I told them that what is happening. And they were quite helpful. But the sad part is, if I make a rape case, it doesn't seem that way, unfortunately, because he's your husband.
Gender-based violence causes in our community. Firstly, I would say it's poverty. Secondly, it's the issue of women who are being dependent on male, because gender-based violence is more on females.
To be honest, I think mainly it would be substance abuse. Highly, it's substance abuse, which is a result of poverty. And yes, there may be others more, especially the fact that there is no justice being served in many cases of gender-based violence. So it results to people seeing it as an easy thing to do. Also, some childhood traumas that were never dealt with a lot of people. So those traumas come back upon those people and they result into such instances.
Gender-based violence, as the director was saying, is those cases that the victims knows who the aggressor is, who the perpetrator is. But 1, 2, 3, we're doing our police work. Along the way, we are confronted by people who come to the front desk, coming to withdraw cases. As police now, we have begun to have a standing rule that says we are not withdrawing cases at the police station. Let you rather go to court.
Gender-based violence and femicide, from our side as Justice, we're trying to make it easier for people to get protection orders, which means if those orders get broken, then the perpetrator can be arrested. We've tightened up, as I'd mentioned in my speech, the 3 GBV laws and the Sexual Offences Act, expanding the scope of the National Register of Sex Offenders.
The sad thing in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, is that even though in our sexual offences courts, we have a very high conviction rate, 70 to 75%, but that is, and our SAPS colleagues will take note of it, that is of the cases that prosecutors decide to prosecute. It is not 70 or 75% of violations in this country.
One of our chief demands was to have a GBV council that would oversee the entire GBV response in this country. And that council would hold the GBV fund. And that GBV fund would be what actually ensures the implementation of the National Strategic Plan. We don't have a GBV council, we don't have a GBV fund. So the original plan was for there to be a fund that both government and private sector contribute to, and development partners. Similarly to how SENEC has for the HIV/AIDS response, where you can have a coordinated response across the country, properly well-resourced, and you can actually start seeing change.
The courts are increasingly giving very high sentences for these cases. They are increasing, but the problem is the scourge is not coming down. The prosecution will not solve this problem. We are not going to be able to prosecute ourselves out of this crisis.
We are pleading to our government to make gender-based violence a 365 days business. Secondly, our government must see to it that the funding for gender-based violence organization is there.